Great meeting you here, Vinay. We're here at Busworld Southeast Asia in Jakarta, in Indonesia. Can we start off by understanding on Masstrans' presence here at the show?
Great having you here, Bala. It's always been a pleasure meeting you. Now, as I have said, this is our first show abroad, and we are pretty kicked about it because we have never stepped out of our country, and we thought that Indonesia would be a good start because we are trying to target the ASEAN region. Where India was maybe 5, 6 years or 8 years back, Philippines and Indonesia and all of them find themselves at that point of time. So I think we are early. We have made early inroads in the market, and we expect to benefit from it. Our basic thing is that if we start from ASEAN, which is developing, we would also like to slowly target the African region, which is also upcoming, though not so advanced, but it is coming up. And I hope it doesn't come up very fast because all the wild animals will go, and I want them to be there. But the cities for sure. And then maybe a couple of years or more down the line, we will think about targeting the European market. Because we are cost competitive since we have our own R&D facilities and we have started designing our own equipment. But we are also adding to it. There is a lot going on in the electronics part of it inside of us. Especially, I am sure in the time to come, we'll get rid of the overhanging rearview mirrors. They'll be replaced by cameras. Because it doesn't cover the entire range that is required, and also 360 degree. So we have just given a POC to one of the OEMs, and they're happy with the product. So, and they're talking about large quantities. Maybe they're going to use in buses or trucks or whatever. So that's a big boost. Plus, we have got now fare collection. So we have got a validator. Validators are on trial in some of the buses that are being supplied to DTC by one of the OEMs. I'm sure it will get approved and passed, and then because we are the first people in, we should get the maximum benefit out of it. I hope so. It's not only the products that we are trying to sell, but we are also introducing the complete backend for the. So we have the software, which roughly we call as a depot management software, but it also encompasses the fare collection bit. So we have mobile app for it, for fare collection, so on and so forth. So tracking and the rest of the stuff is fine. Material movement in and out and all of that comes into depot management. These systems have already been deployed in India. The recent one we did in Port Blair. That is for buses and ferries. And we also have ETA boards. So that also we have supplied to Port Blair. So yeah, I mean, we tried our hand in Indian cities which were far flung. People were not ready to maybe go into them. But it was a system that we want to try out, and they were the ones who welcomed us with an open arm. So that was nice. So, yeah, good experience overall, and we have had learnings from it, which we will carry on to the other projects that we did.
Right. So since we're here at a show in Indonesia, and the Indonesian bus market is pretty interesting, on the rise, numbers are going up as well. What value do you think Masstrans can add, being a supplier based in India? What value and what difference do you think you can add to the market here compared to suppliers from other countries, local ones as well?
So local ones, frankly, I haven't seen much out here. Maybe they are not exhibiting, but we have seen a lot of Chinese, obviously. And I have also heard, whoever I have met, that they are not so comfortable with Chinese products because maybe 9 months, 1 year down the line, they need to replace or they fail or whatever. And since this is a development which has come out of our previous partners, Hanover Displays, we know how it works, and we know that once you install in a bus, you don't have to look at it for 10, 12 years. So that also has brought confidence into the people whom we are speaking to, that yeah, it might be a little delta difference between the Chinese and us, but once installed, they need to fit and forget. Of course, cameras and other things are available. So I don't see our role play in that. But for signages, for sure.
There is a particular focus on safety in the Indonesian market. I think we heard the minister talk about it, the team from Busworld talk about it as well. What are your thoughts on how important safety should be for a market like Indonesia, which is rising in terms of population of buses?
So yeah, I mean, I've heard them speaking about a lot of accidents happening on the road, but that's because of various reasons. It's not only always the bus driver's fault. But yes, being distracted or for them to concentrate on the road is most important. We also obviously one of our products is a alcohol sensor. I'm not saying that people drink and drive, but then it's an deterrent for that. So ADAS and DSM obviously they play their role. There would be a pain in the city because people, when the buses are trying to get out of the city, it would be a pain for them. The drivers would get really angry with it. But I think on highways, it's really helpful. So yeah, I mean, safety in that aspect, you should also have cameras because those record and they know whose mistake it is. Finally, the insurance has to pay, and always the bus driver, the person who's driving the biggest vehicle gets blamed for no reason. Whereas most of them are not at fault because they know their responsibilities and they drive well. And that's why they are given the buses.
Right. Okay. How much that noise is going to come into the interview?
That's okay. And also, with the capital getting shifted, that I think that brings a whole lot of dynamics into this game because the roads are improving, they're increasing the road length, and I foresee that in the next 4-5 years there will be a huge number of buses. Also, the transition from normal diesel or CNG to EV is also happening. Yeah, I mean, it's a good time to do.
One last thing on medium to long term plans for Indonesia, ASEAN region and also overseas markets. What is your roadmap for Masstrans? What percent of your revenue do you think will come from outside of India, say by 2030?
So by 2030, I would frankly be targeting at least 20 to 25% of the revenue coming here. I mean, I'm not reaching for the skies. We are being very logical in this because we know that buses take time to get going. But yes, around 20 to 25% we would expect.
But when you step on the pedal, there's definite potential for that to happen, right?
See, it's not me stepping on the pedal. It's on how the buses, how many they evolve and how many buses really hit the market. How are the bus bodybuilders placed? How many buses they can manufacture in a year? Of course, I was speaking to an Australian person who wants to set up a bus bodybuilding here. So he is also contemplating on whether this is the right time or should he delay it by a year or two. So yes, everybody is looking at this market because it is an exciting market.